God says, a loved one in heaven is crying out, it's time to rise and receive your promise. My beloved child. Pause for a moment. This is not just another video. This is not a coincidence. It is a divine appointment. Arranged not by man but by my Spirit. Heaven itself has gently led you here because there is a message that must reach the very core of your heart. This is not meant to be heard with your ears alone, but with your spirit, where my presence dwells and whispers truth beyond what the eyes can see. There is someone from your family, someone you loved, who once walked beside you. They once held your hand, laughed with you, prayed for you, and looked at you with eyes full of care. That soul now walks in my presence, clothed in radiant light, completely at peace, fully alive in eternity. Though they no longer walk beside you in the flesh, they are not gone. They have not been forgotten. Their love for you has not vanished. In fact, today, it reaches across the veil of time and space, carried by my Spirit to remind you that you are seen, you are remembered, and you are chosen. This message comes not from emptiness, but from the overflow of heaven. They see you now, not just your face, not just your outer world, but the invisible weight you've been carrying. They see the tears you haven't let fall, the questions you've been afraid to ask, the confusion, the delays, the moments of silence when you wondered if I still hear you. Yes, child, I see too. And today I say, you have not been forgotten. There is something sacred tied to your name, a blessing planted long before your birth, watered by the prayers of those who came before you. It was never meant to be hidden forever. It was always meant to grow and bloom in its season. But now, the enemy draws near, not in the open, not with fanfare, but in subtle ways, trying to steal what is rightfully yours. Not your belongings, not your comfort, but your inheritance, your peace, your calling, your future. You didn't stumble here by chance. I guided you, because heaven is speaking and your spirit is ready to listen. This moment is set apart. The words you hear are not just words. They are my voice, calling out to you with tenderness and authority. My child, I have written your name on the palms of my hands. Isaiah 49:16, KJV 1925. I have watched over you when no one else saw. And today, I whisper to your soul, you are not alone. And you were never meant to walk this path without purpose. The one you lost, they carried a part of your story. And now, in my glory, they still intercede. They are part of the great cloud of witnesses, watching, worshipping, and crying out for you not to give up. Their voice has not vanished, it has been folded into the eternal song of heaven. And today, they echo my heart, don't let go. Don't give up. The promise is still alive, so come closer. Beloved, let my words wash over your soul. Let peace settle where anxiety has lived too long. Let hope rise where fear once whispered. Let this be the moment you remember that you are part of something greater. And if this message touched you, let it dwell richly in your heart, and consider joining us here, where heaven's voice is shared daily. Click subscribe if your heart feels called. And walk with me through more moments like this. I, the Lord, am not done writing your story. You are not forgotten. You are my chosen vessel. The journey is not over, it's only beginning. My child, now that your heart is still and your spirit is open, listen closely. This is not just a moment of comfort, it is a moment of revelation. What you've been feeling lately, the restlessness, the heaviness, the strange weariness that you cannot explain, it's not random. Heaven sees it. And today, I want you to understand what is truly happening in the spiritual realm. The enemy, he is not coming for your possessions. He is not after your success, your job, or even your health alone. He is after something far more eternal. He is after your inheritance, the divine purpose that I have placed inside of you. The future that was sealed in heaven long before you took your first breath. He sees the blessing tied to your name. He knows what you carry, because I placed it there, child. Hear me, what's on your life is sacred. What is within you is powerful. It was born of the tears and prayers of those who came before you, your grandmother who whispered your name in the dark of night. Your grandfather who fasted without ever telling you why. They did not just live for themselves. They lived, believing in the generations that would come after. And that includes you. The enemy doesn't fight what doesn't carry power. The reason you felt attacked, confused, delayed, is because something valuable is within you. The more heaven has assigned to you, the more darkness will try to steal it. But I, the Lord your God, am not a silent observer. I reveal what's been hidden so that you can rise and reclaim what is yours. Do not be afraid, child, but do be alert, for the enemy hides in the delay. He whispers lies in your doubt. He disguises distraction as opportunity. He tells you, you're too broken, or it's too late. But I have not said that. I have not called you forgotten. I have not withdrawn my purpose from your life. The calling remains because my word never returns void. Isaiah 55:11. KJV 1925. Yes. The enemy waits quietly, not to fight you directly, but to lull you into forgetting who you are. He would rather you grow weary, distracted, bitter, and too tired to fight for what was always yours. That is his strategy, not always force, but subtle erosion. But today, I expose every tactic in the light of my truth. You are not losing. You are not too far behind. What you're feeling now is not defeat, it is awakening. You are starting to see what has been under attack all along. And that is the first step to victory. For how can you reclaim what you do not know was stolen? And I tell you now, your peace, your joy, your boldness, your fire, it was not lost forever. I am the God who restores. I am the God who reclaims what the thief tried to hide. The thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life. John 10:10. KJV 1925. So, beloved, let my voice wake you up. Let my words stir your spirit. Do not believe the lie that says you are too small for something great. What's inside you is not ordinary. It is heaven sent. And I will not let it be buried by distraction, by delay, or by doubt. If this word has spoken to your heart, if something within you says, this was for me, then walk with me deeper. Subscribe to this space where I continue to pour my words into hungry hearts. Share this message with someone you know is fighting in silence. Heaven is speaking, not just for your comfort, but for your calling. You are not empty. You are not disqualified. You are an heir, and what is yours is still waiting to be claimed. My child, now that your eyes have begun to open and your spirit has begun to stir, I need you to hear this clearly: what you carry inside of you, you did not earn, but it belongs to you. It is your inheritance. Not because of your perfection, but because of my promise. This blessing was not placed within you by accident. It was not handed down through tradition. It was placed in you by my hand, before you were born. Before anyone knew your name. Before you ever took your first breath. This inheritance is not tied to your resume, your relationships, or what others think of you. It does not live in titles, in approval, or in applause. It is deeper than all of that. It is older than your fears and stronger than your failures. It is greater than your pain, your delays, or even your doubts. You see yourself through the lens of your past, but I see you through the lens of eternity. I don't call you by your shame, I call you by your purpose. I don't measure you by what you've lost, I measure you by what I've planted. Before I formed thee in the belly I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb I sanctified thee. Jeremiah 1:5. KJV 1925. You may feel small at times, overlooked or forgotten, but heaven has never stopped watching. Angels have never ceased encamping around you. My spirit has never withdrawn from you. The inheritance you carry is not paper thin. It is not fragile. It is sealed in the courts of heaven and written into the fiber of your soul. And no one can cancel what I have called blessed. Yes, child. I know there have been days where you questioned everything. You looked at your life and asked, is this all there is? You compared your progress to others and felt behind. But I never asked you to race, I asked you to trust. What I placed in you is not on their timeline. What you carry was never meant to fit into their mold. You are set apart. You are marked for something holy. This is not about your comfort. This is about your calling. And the fire you feel burning. The ache in your soul for more. The quiet knowing that you were made for something greater, that is the echo of your inheritance calling you deeper. That's why you can't settle. That's why you feel uneasy when you shrink yourself to fit in. You were not made to blend in. You were made to carry the mantle forward. The ones who came before you, they walked through storms and cried prayers into the night. Some never lived to see the promise, but they planted the seeds in faith. And now those seeds are growing in you. That is why you feel the weight of destiny. That is why the enemy has fought you so hard. Not because of what you've done, but because of what you are destined to do. Beloved, let this truth settle in your heart. You are not chasing blessings, you are carrying one. You are not waiting for purpose, you are already walking in it. And if the voices of this world have tried to drown out what I have said, return to me. Let me speak again. Let my words be the loudest voice in your life. If this message is awakening something in you, if you feel the stirring of destiny in your chest, stay close. Join this community where my words are spoken, not from performance, but from presence. Click subscribe not for routine, but for revival. My spirit is moving here, and this is just the beginning. I have called you to remember, to rise, to carry forward what others could not finish. And child, the inheritance in you is not just for you, it's for everyone who will be touched through your obedience. My child, now that you understand what I have placed within you, your inheritance, your calling, your legacy, let me reveal the strategy of the one who seeks to steal it. The enemy does not always roar. He does not always arrive with storms or announce his presence with chaos. Often, he comes silently. He moves through the ordinary. He whispers through the familiar. He hides in delay, in distraction, in disappointment. He does not need to destroy you to defeat you. He only needs you to forget who you are, to forget what I said, to forget the promises I spoke over your life. He will not always knock you down, he will simply convince you to sit still. He wants you tired. He wants you bitter. He wants you so overwhelmed that you never even reach for what is already yours. He studies your patterns. He waits for moments when your faith feels small, when your strength feels low. He whispers, God has forgotten you. He speaks through unanswered prayers, through closed doors, through long seasons of waiting. And if you're not careful, you start to believe the lie, maybe I'm not chosen. Maybe this is all there is. But I, the Lord your God, am not the author of confusion. I do not withhold my love or hide my blessings behind games. I am a good Father. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights. James 1:17. KJV 1925. If I have spoken it, it will come to pass. If I planted it in you, it will bear fruit. The enemy's greatest tactic is not force, it is subtle erosion. He doesn't destroy the path, he clouds your vision. He doesn't stop your journey, he convinces you to stop walking. He sends people who seem good but lead you astray. He fills your day with so much noise that you can't hear my still, small voice. He doesn't need to steal your future. He only needs you to lay it down out of exhaustion or fear. But child, hear me, what you carry is too sacred to surrender to deception. What's inside you breaks chains, not just in your life, but in the lives of others. Your inheritance carries healing, peace, and generational restoration. And that's why it's under attack. Not because you're weak, but because what you carry terrifies the darkness. So today, I am lifting the veil. I am shining light on every hidden tactic. The disappointment, the delay, the confusion, they were not signs that I left you. They were signs that you are closer than you realize. Closer to breakthrough. Closer to the promise. Closer to stepping into the sacred ground prepared for your feet. Let me remind you, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. KJV 1925. Yes. The weapons were formed. Yes. The attack was real. But it didn't win. You're still here. You're still listening. You're still fighting. And that means you're not defeated, you're awakening. Let this moment be a turning point. Do not shrink back. Do not surrender to the silence. Lift your eyes. Lift your voice. Lift your faith. You were not born to walk in circles. You were called to walk in victory. I am the God who redeems time, restores purpose, and multiplies what was lost. And if your heart is burning right now, if you feel something inside you coming back to life, don't walk away from this moment. Stay near. Follow this space where my word is spoken over dry bones. Click subscribe if your spirit is saying yes. Not for a channel, but for a divine reminder of who you really are. Because, beloved, you are not just surviving, you are rising. And what was almost lost is about to be returned. In full, and with glory. My child, now that you see what has been hidden, now that your spirit recognizes the tactics of the enemy, I want to show you what I, the Lord your God, am about to do. I am not standing still. I am not silent. I am not watching from a distance. I have heard your cries in the night, seen the moments you almost gave up, and I have counted every tear. Heaven is not indifferent to your battle. Heaven is responding. Today, I say to you, what was nearly stolen will be returned. Not partially, not quietly, but fully, and with restoration that will silence the enemy who tried to convince you it was over. What the enemy delayed, I will deliver. What seemed lost, I will resurrect. I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten. Joel 2:25. KJV 19:25. Even the years you thought were wasted, even the moments you regret, I redeem them all. There is someone in heaven, a loved one who once held your hand, whose laughter still echoes in your memory. They didn't just live. They believed. They carried your name into their prayers. They whispered hopes over your future when you were too young to know. And even now, clothed in light, surrounded by peace, they have not turned away. They are part of the great cloud of witnesses, watching you with love, urging you onward in spirit. Wherefore seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. Hebrews 12:1. KJV 19:25. They see what's at stake. They see the blessing being passed down through generations. And they are crying out, don't let it slip away. Fight for it. Hold on. Trust God. They know that your story is not just yours, it's the continuation of theirs. Their faith did not die. It lives on in you. Their strength, their devotion, their legacy, it flows in your spirit like a sacred river. Child, you are not carrying this alone. You are not the beginning of this journey, you are the next chapter. What your ancestors dreamed of, what they prayed for in silence, what they hoped to see but never did, you are stepping into it now. Their mantle has been passed to you, and it is time to pick it up. This is not a burden, it is an honor. This is not pressure, it is purpose. You were not chosen to carry shame. You were chosen to carry glory. You are the vessel heaven is counting on. The torchbearer for the promise is yet to be fulfilled. And though you may feel unworthy, though you may wonder how someone like you could be called to something so holy, I have chosen you. Not because of your strength, but because of your surrender. Not because of your perfection, but because of your obedience. My child, I do not call the qualified. I qualify the called. So today, lift your eyes. Let the guilt fall off. Let the shame break. Let the confusion scatter. The enemy tried to confuse your identity. But I reaffirm it now, you are chosen, anointed, set apart for such a time as this. You are the answer to generations of prayers. And this world is about to see what I planted in you long ago. And if this message has pierced your heart, if you feel the fire of truth rising in your soul, then walk with me deeper. Join this space where my voice continues to be heard. Subscribe not out of habit, but out of hunger. Let every message be a reminder that your story is sacred. Your calling is real, and your inheritance is still unfolding. This is your moment. This is your rising. Heaven is not silent. Heaven is cheering. And I, the Lord your God, am walking every step with you. My child, now that you understand who you are, what you carry, and who is standing with you, even in the unseen, there is one final truth I must speak into your spirit: your inheritance can still be reclaimed. But it begins with returning to me with your whole heart. Not with fear, not with shame, but with faith, with surrender, with trust. You do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to clean yourself up first. I am not waiting for you to be perfect. I am waiting for you to come back. Come boldly. Come honestly. Come like a child who knows they are loved. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. Malachi 3:7. KJV 1925. You've been running on empty, trying to fix it on your own. You've buried prayers that once burned brightly. You've accepted a silence that was never meant to be permanent. But I am still here. I have not moved. I have not turned my face. And today, I am calling you home, not just to my presence, but to your promise. Speak to me again. Not with rehearsed words or quiet doubts, but with boldness. Cry out to me for what you thought was lost. Ask me for what you've stopped believing for. Open your heart again, because your voice moves heaven when it is filled with faith. Worship me, not because your life is perfect, but because you trust me through the process. Worship isn't about the music. It's about your focus. When you praise me in the storm, you silence the enemy's voice. When you lift me above your fears, you unlock peace that the world cannot understand. And child, forgive. Yes. Forgive. Forgive the ones who walked away. The ones who betrayed your trust. The ones who caused you pain. They were never the destination, they were just part of the journey. If you hold on to their wounds, you block the blessing that's trying to reach you. Let it go. Not for them, but for you. Release it. And watch what I will release in return. Repent, not to be punished, but to be restored. I am not here to shame you. I am here to renew you. To redeem what was broken. To reopen what was closed. When you turn back to me, I don't remind you of where you failed, I remind you of who you are. If we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins, and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. 1 John 1:9. KJV 1925. Walk by faith, even when it's dark. Obey me, even when it's hard. Keep moving, even when it's slow, because I am the God who breathes life into dry bones. I do not just restore what was stolen. I give back more than what was taken. This is not just about recovery. This is about redemption. About breakthrough. About legacy, child. Your best days are not behind you. They are ahead. There is land you haven't walked on yet. There are doors you haven't seen. There are miracles with your name on them. But you must act. You must believe. You must take the step. Even if your legs feel weak. Because the moment you move toward me, I run toward you. 10,000 steps. With mercy. With power. With favor. This is your moment, not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Heaven is not waiting anymore. I am not waiting anymore. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are seen, known, and chosen. The story is not over, it's being rewritten. And it will be written in glory. If this word has opened something deep within you, don't walk away unchanged. Let this be your turning point. Stay close. Subscribe to this space where my voice continues to call my children home. Let every word remind you that your inheritance is still alive, and you were born to walk in it. I am with you, now and always. Let us begin again, together.